What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to the spreadsheets. Let's clap it up. We always love it when we're back in a spreadsheet. Today, we're going to be going through our 2025-2026 award predictions. This is something I did last year, and we actually made some pretty good guesses, if I remember, last year on things. And since it's the most boring part of the NBA season right now, what better time than to just throw out award predictions, right? I think that's a perfect use of our time. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be giving you guys kind of like my top 3 picks for each of the major awards out there. I didn't include all of them. I'm not going to do clutch player or things like that. I just don't care about those awards. And in full context, I hardly care about the awards in and of itself. And if it didn't affect people's contracts and things like that, I probably wouldn't care at all. But regardless, it should be fun. I'm down for the conversation. But before we go and do that, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. We've got a bunch of content coming out right now to kind of help fill the basketball void. There's some FIBA film breakdowns. Those are always fun. We're going over breakout players. I put out some top 25 lists, which I hate doing, but I'm going to do it for you guys anyway. We've got earlier film breakdowns. We've got some fun stats videos that if you want to go into, they should be a lot of fun. But since restricted free agency is still holding up the off season, we're just going to have to keep existing in this space for the time being. One other quick announcement, September 1st, that is when regular content will be back. You're going to be getting 5 videos a week again. Starting September 1st, we're going to be doing our season preview series, meaning we're going over every single team in the NBA and giving you a pretty in-depth look as to those teams. So make sure you guys are subscribed and ready for that. And let's just hope that restricted free agency has somewhat resolved itself by then, so your boy can actually go make some content on it. But anyway, I appreciate it. Let's get into the list. Alrighty, so this is how this is going to work. I went and used the same spreadsheet that I used last year because why would I make something different, and why would I make it prettier than I actually need to? This spreadsheet's perfectly fine. Basically, you check a box and a name is going to appear. It's that simple. It's not that hard to figure out. We've got Rookie of the Year. We've got MIP Most Improved. We've got Sixth Man of the Year, DPOY Defensive Player of the Year, and MVP. We've obviously got the winner, the person that I think is going to win. And by the way, if you've got other ideas, great. Leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear them because I'm sure I'm going to get some EVC, I can't believe you didn't include Scoot Henderson in the MVP talks. What the fuck? There's going to be someone like that. There always is. And I'm not going to lie. Those are kind of my favorite comments, in a sense, but also just I don't know what's wrong with you. Anyway, it's just my pick for it. I've also got the runner-up, and then I've called it Dark Horse because it's a third one. It's still the person that I have coming in third. So take that as you will. Let's get into it. I want to start with Rookie of the Year because I think that that's a fun one to start off with. And in third place, I know, drum roll please, I've got Kasparas Giannis. I know, and a true dark horse, honestly, probably, compared to what the odds suggest. I don't know what the odds are. I'm not a gambling personal. I don't care if you do, but I'm not familiar with what the odds are, but I have to imagine his are pretty low considering where he was actually picked. But if you've been following the channel for any amount of time, when we did like our draft coverage and everything, I don't know where that playlist is on here, but yeah, if you watched our full draft kind of coverage here, you guys know I'm pretty high on Giannis. I think he's an incredibly talented guy, and I think he ended up in a phenomenal situation in Miami for him. He's got a lot of players around him that can really cater to his primary play style, which is to be a playmaker and a facilitator. I think he's one of the better facilitators that I've seen come through the draft process in a long time. Which is nice. He's going to be able to do the thing that he does best kind of right away, and there's an extreme need for it on the Miami Heat, so I think that that's really, really cool. I think they're going to put him in a spot to succeed. I don't think it's going to happen early on. The Heat tend to kind of ease people into things a little bit more, make you prove yourself type of shit, right? We saw the same thing with like Kel'el Ware last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe like 30-40% of the way through the year we see a Giannis like big uptick in minutes or something, or maybe someone goes down early. We never want to see that, but maybe that happens. Giannis starts to play make a little bit. He starts getting the offense going for the Heat, which it's sometimes hard for them to really find some scoring. You've got some Norman Powell, some Tyler Hero, some Bam Adebayos around you. You got a couple lob threats on the team. I think you could get a lot going with a guy that's that talented playmaking wise right away. So I got Giannis third on the list. I know it's interesting, but just my observation. Now I'm going to make sure that I click on the right one here. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to click this box next. There we go. Runner up, I've got Trey Johnson for the Washington Wizards. I don't think this one's that hard to comprehend, and I know instantly I've got some people like, AVC, where's Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, insert other player that my favorite team drafted. Fuck, I don't know. I guess they're not as good in my mind. No, I think there's better players than Trey Johnson. I think he's going to be in a better position to put up the numbers necessary to potentially get this award. The Wizards need anybody that can score baskets, especially with Jordan Poole gone now, right? They do have a CJ McCollum and a Chris Middleton. They're older, though. While there'll probably be some primary scoring options, Trey Johnson, we know one thing that he can do right away is get buckets. At an NBA level, this dude should be able to get you some buckets. He is going to have the full opportunity to do so. There's not a lot of other guys in the team that are going to be looking to score, so he is going to have every opportunity to do so, and I think he's talented enough to kind of capitalize that. This is easily a guy I could see getting you like 15, 16 points a game as a rookie, which I can't stress enough how hard that is. I cannot stress enough how difficult that is in the NBA. Like, if you got a rookie scoring like 7, 8 points a game, I'm like, hey, good for that kid. You don't understand how hard that is to do consistently. So if you got a guy getting you like 15, 16, and it's not horrible efficiency in their rookie year, I'd feel pretty damn good about that. And I truly think Trey's going to be able to do that. Again, you got some vets on the team that'll be able to take a little bit of the pressure off you. I think it'll be hard to sustain throughout the year, because at a certain point, like if he starts hot halfway through the year, people are going to be like, okay, let's just slow down Trey Johnson or whatever. Like, let's just make sure that we're like following him over screens or whatever, and he's going to have to get a little bit more creative with things. It's going to get a little harder for him, because again, who does he dump it off to? He's got CJ, he's got Chris. We'll see if they survive the whole year with the team too, because they could be moved at any moment. And then it's like, okay, who does he have to give the ball to now? That's a big question, but I think it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see if teams put him in situations too where he has to be a bit of a playmaker, because as we all know, Trey's not that great at anything that isn't just putting ball in hoop, which again, great skill to have, but something that you kind of have to watch for with him. So yeah, I've got Trey Johnson with that one, and I don't know what button I'm supposed to click next. It should be the 5th one always. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please let this be it. Okay, your boy did it. I've got Cooper Flagg winning Rookie of the Year. Look, it's going to be tough to beat the narrative more so than anything, but also Cooper Flagg's amazing. He's awesome. He is going to have an opportunity to do some things. Even on a very deep basketball team, they're still going to put a lot of weight on his shoulders, because they're expected to be in the playoffs. They're expected to be competitive this year. And the good news for him is he has a really good supporting cast. You got the D'Angelo Russells of the world to run point guard until Kyrie Irving gets back. You have a star player in Anthony Davis that is going to be the number one thing talked about in the film room by the opposing teams every single night. Like I'm just being real with you. Teams are going to not talk about Cooper Flagg a ton right away. They're going to be like, okay, how do we stop Anthony Davis? How do we make sure him and D'Lo don't connect for certain things? We got to watch out for the lob threats of the big man, right? And then they're going to worry about Cooper Flagg, right? That's just kind of how it's going to be. But I think Cooper Flagg is so talented, and he's going to get the opportunity to shine. He's going to have, like I said, the quality players around him to have some success right away, so that he's not getting like double teamed and things like that early on. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. It feels like it, at least. Hopefully, health and everything works out for all these guys. But these are my Rookie of the Year picks right there. So let me know what you guys think of Rookie of the Year. I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see some other people do it, because don't get me wrong, the Dylan Harpers, Ace Baileys, and VJ Edgecombs are all super talented. I just think that there's like opportunity to look at here. Like Dylan Harper not going to have as good of an opportunity. Ace Bailey, does he have the team around him to really help support a high volume scorer right away? I mean, like, he's certainly going to get some opportunities to do some things, but outside of like Markkanen, what does he really have else around him to kind of help him be successful? VJ Edgecomb's got a couple other guards on the team that are going to want some minutes, and just a lot of other guys that want shots. So just some initial thoughts there. Shout out Con Knippel as well. Let's move on to most improved player. And I'm going to be so real with you. I made my list of all this. There's like a sheet in the background that kind of tracks all of this stuff. I made this, like 15 minutes ago. I already forgot who I put on this list, so just keep that in mind, you boy. Your boy's in the scuffed part of the season, so we're making scuffed YouTube videos. Let's fucking do it. All right, MIP, Dark Horse, Denny. I could see a lot of people putting Denny number 1 on this list, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I think what we saw from Denny over the last, 2 seasons is a guy that can go get you 20 points on any given night in the NBA, that can be a nice playmaker, elite in transition. I really think that he is going to be the kind of clear number 1 guy on the Portland Trail Trailblazers this year, and he really should be because this guy is really talented, and we need to kind of figure out what is his ceiling for things. How high can this guy go? I'm not sure you're ever going to see like all-star quality out of him. And again, part of that is how much of a supporting cast does he have? We know that we have a lot of spacing concerns on this team. Like, is he really going to have the space to truly operate and be a true and like a clear facilitator? It's kind of the same problem that like Scotty Barnes might run into in Toronto this year, but I see so much that I like in Denny, and I know like defensively his numbers like dipped at points last year, but we've seen Denny also be a really productive defensive player as well. But look, this feels like an award where it's just somebody that like scores more points or scores 20 points per game for like the first time in their career. So I could easily see Denny getting up to like a 21, 22 points per game and having solid efficiency and some fun highlights of him just going coast to coast and people being like, yes, most improved player. And again, I like Denny a lot too, so I hope that he kind of gets that opportunity. Alrighty, next person on this list, who did I put? I put Amen Thompson. That's probably going to be a popular pick as well. Let's talk about Amen Thompson and just all the skills that he has. This guy came into the NBA with a pretty elite skill set, and I don't think people even give it the appreciation that it deserves because he can't shoot from three, and he's pretty poor at shooting the ball from the outside in general. It's not just like he can't shoot. This boy really can't shoot, both him and his brother. But what this guy did bring is he brought a pretty elite handle already, some incredible finishing abilities, top-tier athleticism, some of the best defense in the NBA, just all around. Like, this guy brought really everything but an outside jumper to the NBA. And it just feels like as he continues to work on that, he gets more confident, learns the game a little bit more, learns his teammates, has better teammates around him. It just feels like the sky is the limit for this kid. And kind of the same for Asar. Like, he's got a lot of the same abilities, not as good with the basketball as I'd say Amen is, but I think that there's just too much here not to like, and it feels like the Rockets are really going to put the ball in his hands a little bit more this year. At least that's what it feels like should happen if we're developing him correctly. I truly want this guy kind of being like a primary ball handler type of dude. Like, I want them developing him like a Cade Cunningham almost. I know it's a different type of player still, but I want to follow a similar developmental path, if you would. These kind of like big ball handlers that can kind of play make, run some offense, right? But the beauty of him is he's so lethal without the basketball as well that you can use him a little more like versatilely, if you will. So I'm excited to watch some Amen Thompson this year. And so who do I have as number one? Oh, I've got Andrew Nembhard. Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that pick. Good pick, ABC. Let me pat myself on the back right quick. No Tyrese Halliburton this year. No Miles Turner, right? Andrew Nembhard's going to get the chance to kind of run the show. We already know that he works within this system really well. Yes, without your best player, things do get harder, but obviously a lot of shots are opening up on this team very, very quickly. And the growth that you saw, not necessarily in the regular season with Andrew Nembhard, because I would say he was pretty consistent between the last two regular seasons, but the jump that he really took in the playoffs versus the playoff series the year, or the playoff stretch the year before, was on that offensive side of the game. Like, he continues to step up defensively, which is just more and more impressive, but he looked so much more competent with the basketball, running some offense, that now I'm like, okay, let's get Andrew Nembhard, primary ball creator this year. This is going to be a great opportunity to develop his skill set even further, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten as much of a chance with Tyrese Halliburton there, right? Obviously, they run a system where a lot of people get to touch the ball, right? And there's a lot of movement, but there's obviously still somebody that's always kind of running the show, and I think Andrew Nembhard's going to get to be that this year, along with TJ McConnell to an extent, but Nembhard's going to be expected to kind of be that second scorer behind Siakam. You could probably throw a Benedict Mathurin into this conversation as well, but I just don't see, or I haven't yet seen the steps and progression towards kind of becoming that efficient leader, floor general scorer that I have with Andrew Nembhard in comparison to Mathurin. So that's why I've got Andrew Nembhard here as my pick. All right. 2 through. Let's go to Sixth Man of the Year. Who did AVC pick for this? Dark Horse. We've got Bobby Portis. This one's pretty simple to understand for the sole reason of, look, somebody's got to get some buckets for this Bucks team, right? We got a lot of role players on this team. I think about the starting five, right? My imagination is telling me, and maybe it'll be like a Ryan Rollins at point guard, but my imagination tells me like a Cole Anthony, maybe like Gary Trent or something, maybe Torian Prince, maybe it's Kuzma, though hopefully Kuzma is just able to do it, and then Giannis, Miles Turner, whatever. You got some interesting bench players there, because they just picked up Amir Coffey, which I think is like a great pickup for them. I think that's awesome. But look, Bobby Portis is a guy that's pretty consistently getting you like 14, 15 a night, with good players on his team and elite scorers in what was Lillard and Giannis, even though they weren't always playing the most together, and he does it pretty efficiently, and he's able to do a lot for the team. I think that they're probably going to ask him to step up even more this year. I'm hoping that you see Giannis become more of like a wing this year rather than the forward, so that you can see more like Bobby Portis, Miles Turner, Giannis type minutes. I think it'd be cool to have two bigs like that really dominate the glass, but still have the spacing of Miles Turner and Bobby Portis with the Giannis on the court. I think that'd be really, really cool, and you could run like some Amir Coffey in that lineup as well, get a bunch of size out there. Like, you're going to have to find some gimmicks to win with the Bucks this year. Is Doc Rivers creative enough to find that out? I'm not sure, but I really, really, really want to see it. So I hope that we can see something like that this year. I think Bobby Portis is going to get a good opportunity. That's why I got him there. All right, next person. I got Naz Reid, a familiar name in this conversation. Here's my hope. Here's my sole hope with this, because look, I don't have to explain this one too much. Naz Reid is always one of the better bench players out there. We know all the different things that he can do. One of the better big men that can actually like handle the rock a little bit, shoot from the outside, athletic, yada, 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 right? I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping, that Minnesota took this offseason and said, okay, guys, we have like the ugliest offense in the NBA. Nobody has to work harder for their buckets than we do. Let's install some sort of offense. We're going to get a few younger players out there this year, Terrence Shannon Jr. primarily. We're going to get out and run a little bit more. We're going to have an offense that's going to make things a little bit easier. Guys like Naz Reid, you're going to get to thrive a little bit more, right? That's my whole idea with it. I really hope that that's the case, because like, look, y'all got the defense down. Y'all figured it out defensively in Minnesota. Great. Just please, like, run some sets, for fuck's sake. Run something. That's all I ask. So, Naz Reid, I got you at number 2. Who do I have at number 1? Who do I have at number 1? Oh, that's right, I got Karis LeVert. Is that a surprise pick? I don't know. There might be some people thinking Karis LeVert starts, which, like, maybe. I could totally see that. But I'm thinking that the Pistons are going to try to run a Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham type of thing, just because we saw some really interesting stuff out of Jaden Ivey last year. But anyway, let's say Karis LeVert comes off the bench. You need people that can go get buckets on this Pistons team. This is a dude that can go get buckets. We saw a huge uptick in efficiency finally in Karis LeVert's career last year on that Cavs team where everybody was just rolling right, and then he went over to the Hawks. Things continue to look pretty solid for him there. I'm hoping with the Pistons this year he's kind of able to do a similar thing. There's plenty of quality players around him on the roster. At this point, you got some extra spacing. They're going to need extra ball handlers out there whenever Cade is out there, and so, or whenever Cade like isn't on the court, so he's going to get the opportunity to go get his buckets. I like to think that his game is pretty well established at this point, and he's just going to be asked to do a lot, and I think he can deliver. So much like kind of an Andrew Nembhard situation, there's opportunity here, right? There's certainly opportunity in Detroit for the scoring type of backup guard role. Kind of the traditional 6th man of the year almost. It's kind of the combo guardish player off the bench that you just ask to go get buckets. The Lou Williams type of guy, right? Except this is not nearly the same type of player that Lou Williams was, but that's why I kind of expect him to come in at this spot here. Definitely some other names we could have thought of, but that's who I got. And that's my 6th man of the year predictions. Let's move on to DPOY. I feel like this one and MVP probably a little bit easier to predict where I'm going, because I don't feel like I necessarily have a lot of surprise picks with this stuff. So let's just show you and run through it. But look at that, I've got the DPOY right there, Evan Mobley at 3rd. And look, I hope you guys understand this, that just because I've got somebody at 3rd doesn't mean that, like, EVC, you hate Evan Mobley, what the fuck, because you didn't put him on the, you didn't I don't know why you say, I don't know why they sound like Morty from like Rick and Morty or whatever. That's basically the voice that I picture of people on the internet. They sound like Morty, like, oh gosh, oh geez, hey, ABC, you didn't put Evan Mobley on your top 25 NBA players. You really pissed me off. Oh man, no, you hate Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. Oh, there's so many people that were saying that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? But no, I love Evan Mobley. I love Evan Mobley. I just got two people above him. I'm sorry. I know you know who one of them is, and I don't think you should lose, or I should lose that argument with you whatsoever. I could see maybe the runner-up being a guy that you're like, really, over Evan Mobley? And I think so. The NBA doesn't like parity very much, right? That's the other thing I think about with these awards. But Emob is awesome, right? His ability to move around, guard anybody on the court at a high level. He's an elite rim protector. You guys get it, right? He is Defensive Player of the Year right now, and so there's no reason why he couldn't do it again. I've just got him third. All right, so let's just move on. Let's talk about who number 2 is so we can have the true discussion. I got Amen Thompson again on this list. I love Amen Thompson, man. I knew that him and Asar were going to be good, and I'm so happy to see them doing what I expected. Amen Thompson, I've got him here as well. Every single metric tells you that Amen Thompson is just an absolute menace defensively. And so I want to tell you a little bit of like a story about how development works in the NBA more often than not, and just like sports in general, right? So when you're kind of coming up through different levels, right? Let's say you're going from like high school to Division I sports. One of the things that I see all the time, and this comes from my college days and everything, and my coaching days, right? You see these kids, they go D1 or whatever, they come and they're true freshmen. The first 2 or 3 days at practice, they usually crush it. They've got all the confidence in the world. Nobody's really seen them play before. They get to their shit and they get buckets for like the first 2-3 days. After that, they get fucked up pretty good, in all honesty. Most of them do. And that's because it's like, okay, I've seen your 2 moves now. Okay, I've stopped those. Now what do you do? And they're like, that's all I've ever needed. And then they get fucked up for a little bit, right? Some people, they get there and they're still the best player and they just move on, right? And you don't have to see any tendencies change, because sometimes you see like a slasher in high school get to college. Now all of a sudden they're scared to slash because a couple times they got to the rim and some 6'10" dude that can jump out of the gym as well beat their shit off the glass. And now they're like, okay, shit, maybe I'm not a slasher at this next level, or maybe I'm not actually good enough. You look at guys like Amen Thompson, who they've been good defensively their whole career. They're blocking shots, getting hands on ball, right? They're just going up contesting everything. They're everywhere because he's been a better athlete than everybody his entire life. A lot of times guys like that, they get to the NBA, they try to jump at everything, swipe at everything, and oh shit, everyone's just as kind of athletic as me. Maybe I got to stay down and I'm not going for everything anymore. Amen Thompson got to the NBA and said, oh, I'm still the most athletic guy out here. This is great. I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. Give me that. Let me take this really quick. I'm faster than you. I'm going to catch you. Like, you guys can't avoid me. I am everywhere. And he continues to kind of do that. You see a lot of the same stuff out of Asar, which is great. I don't want to make it seem like Asar can't do a lot of this as well. We've just obviously seen a little bit more of it from Amen due to not as many injuries and stuff like that. And obviously last year he got put on the stage a little bit more. But it's just incredible to kind of see his development and the fact that he got to the league and he's like, no, I'm still confident enough to go take everything that I need to out there. So he's who I got number 2 for DPOI. I think he's going to continue to be that guy they put on the best player every single night, and I don't see why he's not going to disrupt absolutely everybody. Okay, number 1 guy, Victor Wembanyama. Do I really need to explain it? If he's healthy, he is the Defensive Player of the Year. Just because like the Spurs in like his 2 seasons are like a horrible basketball team defensively when he's not on the court, and then they're like the best defensive team when he's on the court. It's just insane, right? We've taken a look at a lot of metrics on the Discord, which go join the Discord if you want a place to talk hoops during the dead season. That's where all the sickos are. It's in the link in the description. We've put so many different charts on there this summer about like rim protection and stuff like that. And one of our big takeaways is like, actually, like Wemby's counting stats are even more incredible because people don't even try to attack him anymore. Teams, and I can promise you, I've talked to coaches and they're like, look, man, I'm just not going to send people at Wembanyama. What's the fucking point? There's a 7'4" French baguette standing down there just waiting to take my goddamn lunch. I'm good. I'm good, right? And so his defensive impact is just unmatched. In all honesty, he should win it for the next probably 10 years if he's healthy, right? Just because he can have such an insane impact. So there we go. Let's move on to MVP, right? Who does AVC got? There's probably 3-4 names only that can be on this list, unless I've got a surprise Josh Giddey for you. Nope, it's Luka Doncic. Nope, just a different pasty guy right here from another country. But no, I got Luka. at number 3. Look, the counting stats with Luka were always going to be incredible, right? He's going to be on center stage a lot this year. We're hoping that he's got a team that's a little bit more ready for him this year in LA. I'm really, really hoping so. I think the DeAndre Ayton factor is so critical to this team's success, and everything in my brain tells me that logically it should work with Ayton there. It's just sometimes logic doesn't matter, and people are people, and they're just not going to figure it out. But if DeAndre Ayton can just play the role that he's supposed to, Luka could have such a great season. He really could. I just need you to be his biggest and strongest lob threat like ever. That's all I need you to do, Ayton. But Luka obviously getting in shape, him hopefully being healthy for a good chunk of this year. I know he got hurt in that game the other day. I'm not concerned. Somebody literally just fell on his legs, so there's nothing you can really do about that. But hoping he's going to be healthy this year. Hopefully he's in shape, can play more minutes. He's just going to be more productive in general. But I mean, even when he wasn't in the best shape, he was still an MVP type candidate. So Luka, there you go. Okay, so now you're like, okay, Shea or Jokic, Shea or Jokic. Okay, let's just put it. I got Shea number 2. I could see it either way. I really could. There's a big part of me that's putting Shea here solely because, and let's just put the other one up on the screen because there's no point in wasting it, in Jokic. I truly just think Jokic should be winning it like every single year. I think that's how dominant he is, and that is nothing against Shea. Shea is putting up incredible numbers. He's leading a team that's just hasn't really been like a team that has so much success on like both ends of the court. Like he is leading them in that charge, and he is phenomenal. Like he's one of the better players I've seen through my lifetime play already. Jokic, like, is just one of those dudes, man, that just seems like he should be on the pantheon of things. And so that's just why I have him there right now. I just hope he gets the credit he deserves for things. I think he's going to have a much better team around him this year. Hopefully you win a few more games. People feel a little bit better about you, right? Because we all know all the stupid politics that go into all these awards, right? We all can understand that, and talk about that. That's why I don't know. I just don't care about these things where like people vote on them. Like I dated a girl in high school. This is ABC getting personal. Cheerleader. She did like the beauty pageants and everything like that. I never liked those. You can do whatever you want, right? I never liked those like beauty pageant things. One, I think they fuck up children. I think they do some crazy things to those kids at those things, but also like I just don't like these like non-objective awards to things. It's just for someone like me that's way too analytical about everything, and yes, that means I'm not a very fun person, right? But I can't get behind things like that when it's like, well, okay, how am I supposed to judge what player is better than which? Like in my mind, it's Jokic, but in your mind, it's Shea. And how am I really supposed to have that conversation with you, right? Like, we can go over different metrics or whatever, but ultimately, you're still going to vote for who you think it should be, right? So I don't know. That stuff is just it's hard for me to kind of get behind. You could give it to any of these guys. Giannis can potentially be in the conversation as well. If the Bucks have like a productive season, like Giannis should probably be in that conversation as well. Hell, maybe someone else like a Cade Cunningham could fall into there as well. I love Cade Cunningham. I said it so many times on the channel that the Pistons were my number one like team that I loved watching last year, just because I like watching like young teams kind of start to figure things out, and I was so excited about the Pistons because they were doing the right things during the offseason. I think you guys had a good offseason as well, so I'm definitely gonna be watching more Pistons games and stuff because I'm not watching the Bulls this year. Nope. Nope, but I don't want to get too far into this conversation because we're tackling a topic now and most watchable teams that I'm going to cover next week on the channel. But anyway, this is my list. You guys have listened to me go on enough rants, podcast style, because that's the time of the year that we are in or whatever. And I've got to record another video today. I'm hoping to do another film breakdown tomorrow just because I really like doing those. But anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Please leave me your lists down below for who you think are going to win certain awards or whatever, who are the people that I left off. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Let's move on to the comment of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment of the video is coming from our Spain vs. France FIBA film breakdown. These videos aren't getting a ton of views right now. I'm going to try a couple more. Maybe it'll get a little bit better when FIBA actually starts up or whatever. But if you do like these videos, show them some love and support so that I can keep doing them because I love doing film breakdown videos. I think they're a lot of fun. But anyway, comment of the video is coming from TK4536. Maybe you've gotten comment to the video before. I don't know. Someone should track these or something. Are you planning on making a video predicting the next NBA season awards? No, I would never do a video like that ever. Why the fuck would you suggest it? Standings, yes, that will be something that we cover in the season preview series right here, standings prediction. So we will do something like that. And champ, I don't know if I'll predict that as much. I'm sure I'll kind of mention it in passing or whatever, but I mean, the favorites to me, like, I'll just tell you right now, it feels like OKC/Denver in the West. And honestly, the Clippers, you could throw them into it as well if they're healthy. And then in the East, it feels kind of like a Knicks thing to lose, right? And then maybe some other younger team gets better. I don't know, but I don't know. Those are my thoughts. They could change again. Restricted free agency is taking so long, and I'm not surprised by it. I understand why it is, but I just want the offseason to kind of finish out. Like, let's just get these last couple guys signed. We know where they're going to end. We're all just waiting for, like, the first guy to make their move so that it sets the standard for the market. And I'm sure all these agents are talking, being like, nobody budge, because otherwise it's going to fuck my guy up or whatever. But regardless, if you want to go talk in the Discord and have more things basketball-wise to do, it's right here. Go join it. Link in the description. It's free. We got a bunch of fun stuff on there going on right now, so feel free to hop on. And as always, I appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.